What a day. A 16-year-old teenager with autism disappeared 3 years ago from his Clear Lake, California, and has turned up in Utah thanks to a compassionate cop who gave him a warm car to sit in. That's right, folks. On this Easter Sunday, prayers have been answered once again. Thanks for joining Profiling Evil in this Easter morning report. There's some really good news coming out of Utah. You know, it's been snowing here nonstop for the past week. It's an unexpected series of snowstorms, and it's created a lot of cold and a lot of wet. And that's proved to be a blessing for one young man. In fact, it's so snowy that several ski resorts have reopened. Now, just a few miles from my house, a Summit County deputy noticed a young man sitting in front of a convenience store, shivering. He was freezing cold, and after some coaxing, he agreed to seek refuge in the deputy's car, just to warm up. Let's watch as the deputies approach and eventually convince this young man to accept their help.
This store at Jeremy Ranch.
You look like you're shivering.
This morning, he's very cold. He's shivering. He's obviously had a rough night.
You want to come sit in his car and warm up for a minute?
The man eventually gets into the vehicle to warm up, but won't tell them his name. He allowed deputies to scan his finger, and with technology, it showed he had a warrant out of Nevada. The name, Connor Jack Oswald with a D.
There had been a number of attempts to get information from this kid over the past couple of weeks. He's been pushing a shopping cart around the area, but each time police tried to talk to him, he just exhibited nothing that they could push, and frankly, he didn't want to talk to them. Well, now, nearly frozen, he agreed to trust police. That man's name is Connor Jack Oswald, and he's walked away from his home 3 years ago in California as a 16-year-old. Because he has autism, there was an attempt to locate, and several nationwide searches have been conducted, but they haven't been able to find this kid. His mother and his stepfather never stopped looking, and eventually they moved back to Idaho Falls, where the boy they hoped might return one day. Well, after weeks of trying to identify this young guy as he walked around town, deputies finally hit pay dirt. They discovered him sitting, freezing to death outside of that store, and he asked for help. They found that he had a warrant out of Nevada, which then identified positively from a fingerprint that he was the missing boy from California. They tracked down his parents nearly 300 miles away. His stepdad jumped in the car and drove immediately down to the Summit County Sheriff's Office. Let's watch as he reports back to Connor Jack's mother about what he found.
Gerald Flint, Connor Jack's stepfather, immediately drove from Idaho Falls to Park City.
Is it him?
A little bit older, but yeah.
And what stood out to me was the ears.
After fearing the worst, day after day for nearly 2.5 years.
My sweetheart's alive.
Connor Jack's family learned he was alive.
Well, there you go. On this Easter morning, a day of hope for Christians worldwide, I wish you all the very best. Isn't it cool that Connor Jack has gone home? His recovery brings hope to the 100,000 plus families who have a loved one disappear each and every year. Can you imagine that? 100,000 people. Well, please hit that like and subscribe button and share the good news of this story, the reason we celebrate Easter. I hope that your day's filled with peace and safety wherever you are, anywhere in the world. Hey, folks, we'll see you soon at the next crime scene.